So this video is going to be a review of Unit 8, the inequalities in similar triangles. And these are just going to be some problems from your review sheet. I hope they help you out. So the first problem we're going to do is under the ratios and proportion similarity section. And this is what it looks like. This is what the problem shows. So you have a triangle with a line in the middle, and you have values on each part, and you are going to use ratios, proportions, or similarity to find x. And this is what it's going to look like. So first, you're going to have the top ratio to the bottom, top ratio to the bottom. They have to match. Top, top, bottom, bottom. And then you get to here using cross multiplication. So that means you this way and this way. And then you just distribute through. And then your next step is you would subtract 10 over. And you get 6x equals 30, at which x equals 5. This next one is part of the proofs section. So what you're given, originally you are given this larger triangle, this triangle right here. And they tell you that angle 1 is congruent to angle 2. And they want you to prove that side AB times DE equals AD times BC. So the way I looked at it first was I separated the two triangles so they looked like this, like they were the same. So I noticed that they both shared angle A. So I put angle A on the same side. And then 1 and 2 were congruent, so I put them together. And so you were given that angle 1 and angle 2 are congruent. That's the first part of your proof, because they didn't tell us that the triangles were similar. The second part, you have to prove, you have to get another angle congruent. So angle A, since they both share the same angle. Then you state that both triangles are similar because they share two similar angles. Now, over here I labeled x1, x2, z1, z2, and y1, y2 because that's easy to show, easier to see the proportions that you're going to need to set up. And up here I wrote in x2 times x1 because this is x2, AB, and y1 right here. AD is x1 and BC is y2. So then I knew I was going to need the x's and the y's. So then I saw x2 over x1 because x2 is over here and x1 is over here. Y2 over y1, y2 is over here and y1 is over there. And then I translated that into the actual lines. And this is all, you were able to do all of this because you proved that they were similar triangles. And then you just cross multiply again. You bring this up here, and then you bring this up here, and then that's what you get with cross multiplying. The next problem we're going to do is on the first page. It's the big one with all the measurement angles, and this is what you are given. So you're given this picture. You're given that angle DAG, which is this angle right here, is 70, and I went ahead and put that in here. And you're also given that AC, this line, bisects DAB, which you can go ahead and say, since it bisects 1 and 2 are equal. So, and you are supposed to find measure of angle 1, measure of angle 2, measure of angle 3, measure of angle 4, measure of angle 5, 6, 7, and then measure of angle GAH. Alright? So I'm going to go one by one. So first, I'm going to do A and B, because since they said that it bisects, then both angle 1 and angle 2 are going to be the same. So I have it right here that they're congruent. So these two angles plus this angle, if you look at this line GAB, all this one, these three angles are all part of that line. So I did 180, since that's the whole line, plus equals 70 plus 2x, and I made x the measure of the angles. And I did that because they're all supplement, because they all equal 180 because of the line. And then I just did the math through that, subtracted 70 over, and then divided by 2. So you got 110 equals 2x. So then x equals 55. And that is for both measure of angle 1 and measure of angle 2. Alright? Now we'll move on to C, which is the measure of angle 3. And so I put that measure of angle 3 is equal to the measure of angle 1 because they are alternating interior angles. So this is 3 and this is 1. They are separated by a line AC, so 3 is equal to 1 because of alternating interior. So that was easy, and that just gave me measure of angle 3 to be 55. Alright, now D. So you see this triangle in here? The sum of all the angles in a triangle are 180. And we have the measure of angle 2, and we have the measure of angle 3. We just need the measure of angle 4. So the way I set it up was measure of angle 4 equals 180 minus measure of angle 3 minus measure of angle 2. Or you can do measure of angle 3, 2, and 4, all of those added together equals 180. Either way, you're still going to get this. So measure of angle 4, doing all that math out, you get measure of angle 4 equals 70. Alright, and I did that because of the triangle. So now we're going to go to measure of angle 5, which measure of angle 5 is right here. So these three angles, 1, 2, and 5, they are all part of this line DH. Do you see that? So all of these angles together are supplement. And you have the measure of angle 1 and 2, and you just need 5. So the way I set it up was measure of angle 5 equals 180 minus the measure of angle 1 minus the measure of angle 2. And my reason for that, you don't have to write a reason, but I'm just showing you, is because they're a supplement. And doing all that math out, I got measure of angle 5 to be 70. You could also go the vertical angles route. As you can see here, they are vertical angles. But I just did it the supplement way. You can do it two different ways. So now I'm going to move on to F. Okay? So measure of angle 6. Measure of angle 6 is right here.
That the leadership team is meeting in the Career Center at this
So
time.
that means, so you see the 4 and 6, measure of angle 4 and measure of angle 6? Those are on that same line, so they are supplement. So that's the reason, that's how I did this next one. So the measure of angle 6 is equal to 180 minus the measure of angle 4. And that's with supplement. And you have the measure of angle 4, so you just subtract. And for measure of angle 6, I got 110. So I'll put that right there. So this next part, we're going to do G, which is 7. Angle 7, which is right over here. I'm going to do the same exact thing that I did for number 6, because 7 and 3 are both supplementary as well. So that was measure of angle 7 equals 180 minus the measure of angle 3. And for that one, I got 125 to be measure of angle 7. Now this last one is measure of angle GAH, which is this angle right here. That one. And so with the measure of angle GAD and the measure of GAH, those are all on the line DH. So seeing that this is a line, these two angles are supplementary. So I'll do it the exact same way I got all the other supplementary angles. Measure of angle GAH equals 180 minus 70, because that was the measure of angle GAD. And when I did that out, I got measure of angle GAH to be 110. And those are all A through H of that problem. This last problem that we're doing is another one of the proportions and similarity. What you are given, there's two parts to this one. You have an A and a B. This was the picture that was given. You have triangle PQS and inscribed, well, not inscribed, but a line PR bisects the angle P. So you have end up with two triangles inside of PQS. So for A, they give you that PQ equals 8, QR equals 5, and QS equals 15. And they want you to find PS, which is this right here. I went ahead and labeled using lowercase letters, and I kind of set up the ideal proportion that we're going to use in ratios. So I have A over B equals C over D. So the next part I wrote out was I translated all the A's, B's, C's, and D's into the letters for the sides. So So I have QR, which is A, over PQ, which is B, equals RS, which is C, over PS, which is D. So then I'm going to plug in what they gave me, and I end up with this. So QR is 5, PQ is 8, PS you're trying to find. Now RS, the reason I got QS minus QR is because QS is this whole thing, and RS is just this. So in order to get all of that, in order to get just RS, you have to subtract the whole thing minus the part that you know. So then that gave me 5 over 8 equals 10 over the side PS. And then I just cross multiplied and divided, and I got PS equals 16. Now for B, I'm going to set it up the same way, but first what I'm going to do is I'm going to show QS equals QR plus RS. That's exactly what we just stated. But since you're finding QS and you only have RS, that's another reason why I put that there. So yeah, for this one, RS equals 6, QP or PQ equals 8, and PS equals 9, and you're trying to find QS, which is this whole bottom side. So then you're going to set it up like this. QR, which is A, over PQ, which is B, equals RS, which is C, over PS, which is D. Okay? So then you plug in the numbers, and QR is what you're trying to, so you're trying to find QR to get to QS because you know that RS equals 6. So if you find out what QR is and you add 6 to it, you get side QS. So that's why I left QR here. So then I plug in PQ or QP equals 8, RS is 6, and PS is 9. And this gives you that QR is equal to 5.33. Okay? And you're going to use this, and you're going to bring it down here. So you have 6 plus what QR equals, which is 5.33, and that gives you what QS is. And that's going to end up being 11.33. Alright? Those are a few questions from your review, and I hope that helped out.